Okay, folks, if you remember, this is the IBM X system, and we put a, what is it, Dell Precision T3500 server tower motherboard in here. And a couple of modifications that we had to make, I'm going to show you. And I think this and one more video is all I'm going to make about this. I did order a, let me get you back on track to it. I did order a CPU for this one. CPU with a heat sink to go on that CPU. This is a upgraded CPU. This is like an X5687 CPU on here. And I did order the heat sink, which should be here probably Monday or Tuesday. I'm gonna say it's coming from Fort Worth, Texas, so I'm believing Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. And also I got 3 sticks of 4 GB EEC memory in here. And I just found out I don't remember when I was working on the 3500 that it maxed out at 24 gigabytes of memory, 4 GB sticks. Seemed like I had more than that in there, but I think that's the reason that I went from the T3500 to the T5500 motherboard, which is the computer that we're doing the video on right now. It's the case for the T3500, but there's a T5500 motherboard, and they were dual processors because the memory, there's 12 memory slots in there, so it holds a lot more memory. That may be the reason why I did that, because of the memory max on here. But anyway, I'm gonna grab the camera that you're looking at me on. I'm gonna take you on a tour inside the computer and show you some of the things that I did that we talked about in the video. So bear with me as I do my little amateur stuff. Okay. All right. First off, let me get you guys rolled in here. One of the things that we did mention in the video was that I had an adapter, extension. You can see the extension right here. This is the extension for the 24-volt power supply, which is right there. So that's the extension hooked into the 24-volt plug from the motherboard. And this is the 12-volt wire that I told you we had to put in there. I'm going to try to flip it where you can see it. That's the 12-volt wire that was missing. If you look at the first video, you'll see me talking about it and showing you that. So we did connect that 12-volt wire. We ran a 12-volt wire. Also, the fan assembly, the hard drive basket that usually sit right here, we had to remove that for space. And then also I put 2 fans in. These are like 50 centimeter fans in here. There's 2 of them. I got one on the heat sink and one going on the memory. And there's this Dell T3500. There's actually a blue memory shroud that went over here. I don't know if I still have it somewhere or not. I hadn't looked for it. I just thought about it actually. And of course the heat sink. But I think what I'm going to do is, since we got that opening and that grill, I'm going to put an additional fan in the back of there too to help circulate the air. And then I got this opening over here. I don't know, just extra space right here. I don't know what I'm gonna do that. My video, well, the graphics card, which is a small graphics card. We didn't get a full graphics card. This is just I'm trying to get where you can see it. It's just an NVIDIA. I get you where you can see it. It's just an NVIDIA graphics card. It does have a fan, cooling fan on it, but it doesn't have any power plug. It's powering off of the board. So I don't know if I wouldn't put a regulation full length card, gaming card in here, because then I'd have to upgrade the power supply, because these power supplies, I think they're like 410 watts and they're switching redundant. And so, but that was a beautiful thing. I was able to keep the power supplies and use those just like they are redundant. So I could pull one of these out while the system is running, and it would keep right on running off the other one and push it back, either or. So there are 2. Let me get my camera where I can get you back here where you can see two Switching power supplies. Okay, so another thing I liked about this board, about these servers, uh, that and the memory capacity is usually greater than on the regular motherboard, the desktop motherboard. And usually on the back plane, uh, the hard drives are switching too. You can change out a hard drive without killing the system. And then these servers, they're made uh, to stay on and run, keep running, not shutting them off and on like a desktop motherboard is. So that is that. And we did have to reduce modifications on the, see that yellow, green, black cable that's plaited going over. That's from the front panel. That's from the front panel power switch and all of that. So I don't have my light on me right now, but that is modified too. I had to do a little modification on that. So all I've got on there actually hooked up where I got the wires, and I got a little help from the hot glue gun to hold them in place. But the power, and then I've got really so the hard drive lights, hard drive LED with flash. That's all I need off of that. I don't need the rest of that. The USB, which we came from the front USB, it is actually in the reverse of the normal USB. There's 5 pins on one side and 4 on the other on that connector. So these are kind of reversed, so I couldn't do, because one of them is blank, number 9 is blank, and so I had to use only the 5 pins. So you can reverse that and skip the 4 pins and just put the 5 pin on if you got the pin numbers lined up right, and you can still use USB up front. Okay, so much for that game. Now I'm going to put you back, and then I'm going to show you the things that I did take out of here. Yeah, let me show you what I did take out of here. All right, good, very good, very good. So here is the hard drive cage that we took out of that one spot. I'm not going to be able to use it. So we moved the hard drive. We don't need that cage to install a hard drive, because the hard drive is actually now right here. There's a slot in here where a hard drive went in, and it did screw in too, so that was good. This little piece flat right here actually went here. It was a backing to catch the full regulation video cards that I don't have, but I'm going to keep it just in case we ever decide to put one in. And this is old school though. I don't know, I ain't seen a card that would fit in here since those old cards. Anyways, so much for that game in town. And I am going to look in the memory, because I'm going to run Linux on here, I believe, and I believe I'm going to try, because some of Dell's servers I found out that they only tried it with so much memory, and that they could actually go up higher on the memory on some of them. I found out on the servers, so I'm going to try to go up higher than 24 on this. I really don't need more than 24 for Linux. I mean, 24 is wonderful if it doesn't, but I'm still going to try it, because that's the kind of person I am. I guess y'all figured it out by now. I like doing stuff like, oh, another thing I want to show you. Let me get my camera back. On those fans, I told you guys about this. These are Dell. This is a Dell motherboard. And these connectors, these are 5-pin connectors. I'm trying to get you in closer where you can see them. You can see the pins on them, but I don't know if you can. This is the camera. I'm going to have to change this camera out, because it's not as focusing as good as my other cameras. It's a cheaper camera. But anyway, there was a 5-pin connectors. This little black piece right here actually went on those. And I think with my problem, wait a minute, some of my lighting over here is not right. Yeah, there we go. Get that right. Yeah, there we go. So those actually had this 5-pin connector right here. And that front clip part actually faced back inward. So counting the pins from there, we did the ground and the hot pins. So you'll see that there are 2 pins. The first 2 pins are vacant. There's nothing on those. The next 2 pins are holding the ground, which is the black, and the red, which is the power. And then there's still an extra pin on the other side. So those connectors went right in the middle on 2 pins to power both of those fans. So the 5-pin connector, you can modify that. You can buy an adapter for it. But when I'm working with these old servers and just doing this because this is my hobby, just messing around with them, see how far I can go with them, or what I can do with them, what kind of experimentation I can do on them. I'm not trying to spend a whole lot of money on them because eventually, as I did before, I had them for so long, man. Then the ones that I had prior and years prior, I took all the parts and memory, the processors. That's why I got all this memory and processors and stuff, cards, and I took the jumpers, the battery. I took everything out of them and gutted them. And then I just threw the bulk of it away that I didn't need and kept all the parts in my bins. I got those like plastic drawer bins, so I got 5 or 6 of those full of stuff. And so that's what I do. And so that's why I'm not going to spend any excessive money. I know people are probably saying, oh, why didn't you order the adapter? It would have been so much nicer and needed you put that adapter. No, I'm not spending no more. Is y'all going to pay for it? I'm not spending no more money on that. So some stuff I will because some of the memory, not the memory I bought. I think I bought some CPUs because most of the stuff I was doing with desktops, and I got like about probably 5 or 6 desktops up under my table. My work bench here, and then I got over there, I got the Macs. I got a 27-inch Mac Sonoma over there, desktop. And then in my closet here, I've got some brand new cases. I got a couple of brand new cases of newer computers. And I do desktops, man, but they're kind of boring after a while. So something I can challenge and mess with and figure out and take apart and do a Dr. Frankenstein on, which is what I did here. So anyway, that's what this is. Only thing that's left. I have fired this up. I booted it up, so it booted up good. Everything was working on it. But what I need to do is wait on the heatsink to come in. So when the heatsink comes in, I'm going to boost that memory. This video, next video, which will probably be the last one for this X. This is the IBM X system, 3200 M3. This is going to be the last one because now it is just a shell of an IBM X system. It is actually a Dell Precision T3500. I keep up with that. And so, because one time before I was trying to load some stuff and some drivers and stuff, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is not what this is. I'm going by the case. No, that's not what this is. So, anyway, that's what it is. And so, just the heatsink, when the heatsink comes in, we'll put the heatsink on. We'll boot it up where you guys can see it and probably load Linux on it. I'm not a big Windows fan since Windows 7. Windows 10 is okay. I don't like Windows 11. Don't like Windows 8, 8.1. Didn't like those. Windows XP, Windows 7, and sometimes Windows 10. But most of the time, if you see Windows on one of my computers, it's going to be Windows 10. I did Windows 7 up to the point to where Windows 7 would not let me load the software for my audio interface for my recording. So I had to get Windows 7 go. Unlike Linux, Linux has Play on Linux, and they have another program called Bottles where you can run Windows programs, which I don't want to run a Windows program, but I want to run some proprietary software that I use recording and that I use for other stuff, and I can load it into Linux using Bottles or Play on Linux. So anyway, anybody knows about Linux knows about that. So anyway, that's it for this X system today. I just wanted to show you those modifications I made here, putting the 12-volt wire in here, hooking this up. Also on the USB, which is on here cable, you guys can't see it. I just used the 5-pin side of the 9-pin plug, and the fan modification to the Dell fans, the 5 pins. I showed you guys that before, where I took the little cover, the little piece of cover. This just pops into the motherboard, and if you're really gelling, you can actually pop that little It's a little clip on here. You can pop the little clips out and just work it, and it'll slide right up off of those pins. And then you can use the pins. You can use whatever fan you want to. You can modify it, or you can buy an adapter, like some people say, and try an adapter. I'm not doing that. So that is that. Heat sink, more memory, boot it up. Alright guys, so that's the Dell X System Part 2. There will be a Part 3 on this system here, just to show you guys that it's up and running well. And I'll put it back together, and you'll look at it and you'll say, oh man, this is IBM, it's running good. Because the actual original board in this, it was not as efficient as this one. And I'm not sure if it held even more memory than this one or not. But anyway, it was bulky. It was an older system, and it had that thing. It had a fan on the surround. It was just like, you know, a bunch of dusty. So I just gutted it out, and that's what I usually do with a system. I get it, and I'll work with the system a while. And if I like it, I may leave it like that. But if I don't, guess what? It's getting gutted. All right. Okay, so that's enough of the IBM system. And so what we'll do another video on this one to finish it up and show you guys the final product. Then we're going to pull, you don't remember the Dell Power Edge, the one that we were waiting on the memory for, so we're going to pull that one back up and finish that video out and then power that one up so y'all can see it up and running. And that's going to be it. So hit that like and subscribe button on there if you guys want to keep up with this and what's going on. Y'all know my channel. Check it out. All right. Thanks. God bless you.